Hello, it's me again, the number one book bro. Number one book bro in the whole wide world. Y'all already know what it is. Got another book, Henry David Thoreau, Civil Disobedience. You probably heard of it. If you're halfway intellectual, then you probably heard of it. Unless you're a halfway crook, like Mobb Deep said. You shook? Because ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. They scared to death, they scared to look. Henry David Thoreau, man. Civil disobedience. He starts out the book by saying, well, first of all, what is civil disobedience? Basically, the whole gist of this book is talking about don't be a doormat. Don't be another man's clay bending to his will in every whim. Tend to your own needs. Build your family, build up yourself, become strong, become confident, and move mountains. Become a man that speaks. Say what's on your mind. Because a real man says what's on his mind. He never holds back. So for all you wannabes out there, read Civil Disobedience. It's a short book. This is extremely short. This version of Civil Disobedience is only 45 pages. Yeah, not 45, it's 48 pages total. Let me just read the back for you. I think that we should be men first and subjects afterward. It is not desirable to cultivate a respect for the law so much as for the right. The only obligation which I have a right to assume is to do at any time what I think right. At any time what I think right, do it. That's what a man should do. That's what a man should do. A man should do what he thinks is right for him, for his family. For all you men out there who have sons and daughters, do what's right. If you feel something in your gut that it's right, and you feel like you need to do it, do it. If you're not going to stampede over somebody else's safety, then and what you're doing is within the law, and it's going to help your family, help you out, and maybe even help somebody else out. Who knows? Do it. Don't hold back. Henry David Thoreau said, don't hold back. Do what's right. That's what he said. And what else did Henry David Thoreau say? See this? Civil disobedience. I heartily accept the motto, the government is best which governs least. That's really the whole sort of one of the mottos around being conservative. If you're a conservative, I'm not a conservative individual, but that doesn't mean I can't be man enough to vote for a conservative if that conservative serves my needs. So, and the first sentence goes on to say, and I should like to see it acted up to more rapidly and systematically. Carried out, it finally amounts to this, which also I believe, that government is best which governs not at all. Now, that part I don't really agree with. I don't agree that the government shouldn't have its hand in some parts of society, because I believe that the government, the American government, should step in and fix the ghettos. It should fix all the ghettos across all of America. In fact, I believe that the United States government should go into all of the ghettos and just break them up, because I think the monopoly, it's grown too large. The poor people just have a monopoly on misery, pain, sorrow. Of course, a lot of crime comes out of the ghettos. Why can't the government go in and just break it all up? And just spread these people all across the country, in other parts of the country. Spread them out. The ghettos have gotten out of control. The government needs to step in. So no, David, I do not agree with you that the government is best which governs not at all. I do not agree with that one iota. I think the government of the United States has a part to play in fixing the problems that some communities cannot fix on their own because they have no power and resources. I think that's fairly obvious. All right, so what else does David say out here? The American government, what is it but a tradition, though a recent one, endeavoring to transmit itself unimpaired to posterity, but each instant losing some of its integrity. Now, what does he mean by that? Losing some of its integrity. The American government, as strong and as powerful and as wealthy as this government is, it's losing some of its integrity. Did it ever have any integrity? If we brought back the slaves, would they say that America had integrity? Would they say that America was fair? Would they say that America was honest? I don't think so. Maybe America has never had integrity. That's just a thought, just an opinion. What else does he say? What else does Henry David Thoreau say? When the power is once in the hands of the people, a majority are permitted and for a long period continue to rule, is not because they are most likely to be in the right, nor because this seems fairest to the minority, but because they are physically the strongest. So who are the strongest? Who are in power? Who rule the nation? The strongest. The strongest. They have all the resources. They mobilize the military whenever they need to mobilize it, anywhere in the world that they want to mobilize it. If the American government wanted to stop a war, look at the war that's happening in Haiti right now. If the American government wanted to stop that war, they could do it in a heartbeat. Haiti is right next door. Why are we sending so much money to the Ukraine and Israel? And why aren't we sending some of those resources to Haiti to stop that war? Take over the government in Haiti, clear out the corruption, clear out the gangs that's taken over that place, and just build a paradise there. They could if they wanted to. They're the powerful, they're the strong. The people there don't have any resources. They don't have the mentality to do it themselves. But is it America's responsibility to do that? Maybe not. But is it America's responsibility to throw trillions of dollars to Ukraine? Is it America's responsibility to throw trillions of dollars to Israel? I don't know. Who knows? Civil disobedience. Law never made men a whit more just, and by means of their respect for it, even the well-disposed are daily made the agents of injustice. This guy, he knows how to put a good sentence together, I tell you. A common and natural result of an undue respect for law is that you may see a file of soldiers, colonel, captain, corporal, privates, powder monkeys and all, marching in admirable order over hill and dale to the wars against their wills, against their common sense and consciences, which makes it very steep marching indeed and produces a palpitation of the heart. That is true. I served in the American military, and I was willing to go die for the United States of America. Those were my orders. I would have carried out those orders, and I would have done it proudly, simply because I was a soldier of the most powerful nation on earth. But would it have been just? Would I have even known the true cause or the plight of the people who I would have been fighting against? or the reasons why they were rebelling against powers that were invading them. I probably wouldn't have known at the time. I was only 18 years old when I went in, and I got out at 22. And who knows? I don't know. What did I know at the time? I didn't know a whole lot. A wise man will only be useful as a man and will not submit to be clay and stop a hole to keep the wind away. David Thoreau, you know how to put a good sentence together, sir. But leave that office to his dust at least. I am too high-born to be propertied, to be a secondary at control or useful serving man, an instrument to any sovereign state throughout the world. Amen to that, brother. Too high-born to be propertied. So what does that mean? If you're low-born, then you are ripe for the picking to be propertied. Slaves, dumb, poor, and stupid, not knowing anything, running around in Africa naked. Here come the Europeans with their advanced technology, their metal and steel, their germs, and they capture a few of you from some African, king or some liaison between the Europeans and the African thrones. The next thing you know, you got a ship full of poor, dumb, stupid Africans, naked and chained and bloodied and beaten and whipped, thrown onto ships, some dying and thrown overboard into the ocean, and others carried on over to plantations in the South. Dumb, poor, stupid, and propertied. Not high-born, just born. That's a nice, pretty word, propertied. I am too high-born to be propertied. Henry David Thoreau. This principle being admitted, the justice of every particular case of resistance is reduced to a computation of the quantity of the danger and grievance on the one side and of the probability and expense of redressing it on the other. What does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? I think there's a group or a class of people in this nation that are, the Patriot Front, for example, and Thomas Rousseau and his band of masked men. He was on the PBD podcast recently. Those guys feel like their country is slowly slipping away from them. They don't feel American. They don't feel like this is the America that their grandfathers built. They feel like this is a different America. They want to regain America for the people who they feel America belongs to, which is European stock, men of European descent. German, be that England, be that French, Dutch. Does he have an argument? He certainly has the right to express his opinion out in the open. That's the beauty of this country. You get to speak. And some will listen and some will not. And some will agree and some will not. And some will simmer. Some will join. Some will push back. Some will criticize. And some will stay silent. What is it that a man really wants in this world? Is it civil disobedience? Henry David Thoreau, what is he really saying? To be civilly disobedient, what does that actually mean? To be a man. Just don't be a punk. Don't be a pushover. Don't be a guinea pig. Be a man. Stand for what you believe in. Be something. Be somebody. Build something. Create something. Become strong. Believe in yourself, because nobody else will. That's all this is about. Civil disobedience. Don't just be another cog in the system. Be your own man. Build your own. Use the devices that are available to all of us to become the man that God made you to be. Some of us are never able to reach status of manhood. Some of us just forever stay in this perpetual state of nothingness. But not me, I'm learning. I'm getting out of it, man. One last thing I'll read from this book, and I'm just sort of thumbing through and just sort of picking parts and just reading. I read this book a long time ago, and I have a very, very, very deep library full of stuff, and I'm just sort of sharing some of the things that I think you guys should be reading out there. Unjust laws exist. Shall we be content to obey them? No! Or shall we endeavor to amend them and obey them until we have succeeded, or shall we transgress them at once? Men generally under such a government as this think that they ought to wait until they have persuaded the majority to alter them. They think that if they should resist, the remedy would be worse than the evil. But it is the fault of the government itself that the remedy is worse than the evil. It makes it worse. Why is it not more apt to anticipate and provide for reform? What does it not cherish its wise? Why does it not cherish its wise minority? Why does it cry and resist before it is hurt? Why does it not encourage its citizens to be on the alert to point out its faults and do better than it would have them? Why does it always crucify Christ and excommunicate Copernicus and Luther and pronounce Washington and Franklin rebels? Washington and Franklin rebels. Remember, these are great men, excommunicated, crucified, pronounced rebels. Martin Luther King was a rebel. Malcolm X was a rebel. Are you a rebel? Just because you don't agree with everybody doesn't mean you're wrong. There's wrongs that exist in this world, real wrongs, like things that you probably feel and you know it's wrong, and you don't really know how to think about what you feel. You don't really know what to say. You don't really know why you're having these thoughts. Why am I having these ideas? Man, what's wrong? Is something wrong with me? Am I the problem? Why is everybody going this way, but I want to go that way? Everybody keeps thinking this, but I keep thinking this. I see this. I know this is wrong, and nobody's saying anything. But if I speak up and say something, they're going to call me crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. What you're feeling is you're feeling the same thing Jesus felt. You know that you will be crucified if you tell the truth about certain things. You know that you will be excommunicated if you tell the truth about certain things. You will be pronounced a rebel if you tell the truth about certain things. People just don't want the truth. The truth is the only thing that we have. We don't have anything else. So speak it. No matter who it hurts. Speak the truth. Live in truth. And at least when you die, even if it's one person whose mind you've affected, that's good enough.